Chairwoman Nadeau, as well, and Chairman Gray for holding this extremely important roundtable today. While I do not sit on either of your committees, unfortunately, I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. As you travel across Ward 2, it is impossible to overlook the pervasiveness of tents and encampments. Ward 2 is home to the highest number of individuals experiencing homelessness, and the tents and encampments are a glaring visible reminder of the need to move our neighbors off the street and into housing quickly. The FY 2022 budget includes historic investments, as mentioned by some of my colleagues, in vouchers to house our residents who have experienced homelessness for far too long. The pilot program purports to provide some of the district's most vulnerable residents with the opportunity to participate in intensive on-site case management and behavioral health and substance use support while they relocate from unsuitable living conditions into viable and affordable housing options. The locations for this pilot include NOMA, the L Street Underpass and M Street Underpass, New Jersey and O, and in Ward 2, 21st and E Street, and 25th through Virginia Avenue. When the pilot program was announced, I was heartened to hear that the approach to issue vouchers and move residents into housing quickly would address a concern we have heard from residents and advocates time and again and consistently every day since I joined the council about the long wait times for the voucher process to unfold. As we move into hypothermia season, we are reminded that moving residents into housing quickly is paramount. While I remain hopeful that the intensive services provided and the goal of moving residents into housing expeditiously will be beneficial to residents, I was extremely disturbed, distressed, and disappointed to see a bulldozer injure a resident in a tent at the NOMA encampment. This is wholly unacceptable and must never happen again. Chairman Gray and I led 8 of our colleagues in a letter addressing the aforementioned incident, along with a call for DMHHS to relay lessons learned from the pilot, provide the council with data, and continue to move quickly to move folks into housing by expanding the pilot to additional locations. I was grateful to hear of the additional safety protocols in place to ensure for the safety of encampment residents, and the DMHHS would provide a dashboard so that the council and the public could follow along on updates and progress of moving people into sustainable housing. I know that DC can be a model for successfully mobilizing the FY 2022 budget investments to make a substantial step towards ending homelessness in the nation's capital. Hundreds of residents continue to live in encampments in our city, and that is not suitable. We have to prioritize health and safety for all of our residents, our housed and our unhoused residents. And that is not some way to suggest that some of our residents don't want to just see this disparity. But it is also true that some of these locations that have been selected in the pilot have been homes to fires, rodents, and other egregious incidents of crime. Most of the residents living in these encampments are not engaged in those behaviors. Let me be very clear. Most of the residents in those encampments are not engaged in those behaviors. But it is not safe for them or the surrounding residents who are lucky enough to live inside. Many strategies, vouchers, shelters, and housing options have been tried in the past. And yes, some have proven to be effective in helping our neighbors experiencing homelessness. But these challenges remain, and this pilot program offers the city a chance to try a new approach. And it is just that, a pilot. So I'm happy to learn more today about how it's going so we can consider expanding it or adjusting plans moving forward. I really appreciate that so many neighbors, ANC commissioners, and advocates are here today to discuss the pilot program and help us move forward together in our shared goal of moving residents into housing. I'm also particularly happy to see that we have a few encampment residents who are testifying today so we can hear directly about your lived experiences and preferences. This is a challenge that we should all be working towards together, and I hope that we can remember that our shared goal here today is housing, and I believe that that is achievable. Thank you, Chairman Gray and Chairwoman Nadeau.
Thank you very much, Councilmember